Welcome back everyone. Winter is setting in here in South Australia, so in this video we're going to be doing some lamb shanks. We're going to be using the drum smoker today, but you can do this in the oven by following the recipe and the temperatures that we're going to be going through in the video. So we are going to get started by setting up our drum smoker. So we'll take our cooking grate off, and then we'll fill our charcoal basket up with briquettes. If you've got charcoal, you can use that also. I just like to put my charcoal basket on top of the heat deflector just because it's a bit easier to fill up. And we'll put our charcoal basket back in its position. Get a fire lighter in there and light it up. Right, so we're just going to let that fire lighter do its job and burn out, and our briquettes will catch alight. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes. While that's happening, we're going to get our lamb shanks trimmed up. I don't need too much trimming, but we just want to get rid of any excess fat. So anything like that, we can get rid of. A little bit here, a bit underneath. And honestly, that's as far as you need to go. And they are good to go. Right, so now our lamb shanks are all trimmed up, it's time to season them. You can honestly go with just salt, pepper, garlic, and they will be amazing, or get your favourite lamb rub ready. Today we are using the Heavenly Hell Wham Bam Smokin' Lamb, and we're just going to coat our lamb shanks in a little bit of mustard just to help bind the rub. You could also use olive oil if you want, so we'll go ahead and get these seasoned up. So we're all trimmed and seasoned. It's been about 10 minutes since we've put our firelighter in, so let's have a look at how it's going. Right, so as you can see, our firelighter's burnt out and the briquettes have started to catch alight. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up that vent completely, shut our lid, open up our top vent completely, and we're going to let this thing start coming up to temperature. So once we get to about 250 Fahrenheit or 120 Celsius, we're going to start shutting down our intake vent to stabilize us off at the temperature we want to be at. So that's going to take around another 15 minutes to come up to temperature. So while that's happening, I've just got some smoking wood ready. I've chosen to go with some olive wood from Natural Smoke. You could also use something like cherry or oaks, go really well with lamb. Up to you, the choice is yours. So we're going to come back once our smoke is up to temperature now. Right, so it's been 15 minutes. Our smoker is just about up to temperature. So let's get our wood chunks in, our heat deflector in, our cooking grate back on, and our lamb shanks in. Right, so we're going to smoke these lamb shanks at around the 275 Fahrenheit or 135 Celsius range. If you didn't have a smoker and you wanted to follow this recipe, you can just brown your lamb shanks off in the oven or in a fry pan, because a bit later on we're going to put it in a liquid to braise and finish the process off. So for now we'll probably let these go for at least an hour. We'll come back and check on them, but I'm tipping this is probably going to take about 2 to 3 hours until we're happy with the colour. So we're about an hour and a half in now, and our smoker has been holding temp beautifully. That's why I absolutely love this drum smoker. If I wanted to increase temperature, I'd just open up my intake vent, or if I wanted to decrease, I'd shut it down a bit more. It's super, super responsive. I'll always only adjust with my intake vent, and my top vent will always stay open. So let's have a look at these lamb shanks. So they are looking absolutely perfect. Got some really nice colour, obviously some nice drawback on them bones. Underside's looking good too. The rub's adhered to the meat, it's not coming off on my finger, so let's go to the next step. So our next step is we're going to finish these lamb shanks off by braising them so they get nice and tender. So we'll get started on a braising liquid. Right, so in a tray, we're going to add about 2 cups of beef stock. Half a can of dark beer, in this case we've got a nice stout. And then we're also going to go about half a cup of red wine. Then we've also got some lightly crushed garlic cloves. Just 3 there. And then 2 bay leaves. And then some salt. And cracked black pepper. Right, so I've put our braising liquid in the tray on top of our smoker so that can start heating up. I don't want to be putting the lamb shanks into a cold braising liquid. It's just going to completely slow down the cooking process. So we'll give that 10-15 minutes to warm up, get nice and hot, and then we'll get the lamb shanks in there. All right, our liquid is nice and warm now. Time to get these lamb shanks in. So these lamb shanks are going to go back in until they are tender and falling off the bone. If you're looking for an internal temperature, it's going to be somewhere around the 205 Fahrenheit or 96 degrees Celsius. And I've also chosen to leave our tray unwrapped because I want that liquid to reduce down a bit and we're going to make a nice gravy out of it later on. So we'll come back in a few hours once these lamb shanks are ready. Right, so we're about an hour into the braising liquid. They are looking good. One thing we will actually do is just flip them every hour, just so the shanks can absorb that nice braising liquid through both sides. Smells absolutely incredible as well. So now we'll close her up and come back in another hour or so. So our lamb shanks have been going in the liquid for about 5 hours now, and we've been flipping them every hour like I mentioned before. So we're about 6.5 hours total into this cook. They're just about ready, so let's have a look. So as you can see, that liquid's reduced right down. That's going to be full of flavour. So let's see how tender they are. So as you can see, pulling apart with ease. So we'll take these out and we'll make a gravy. Right, so we're just going to strain our liquid, just so we don't get any of the bay leaves or the big chunks of garlic in there. And then I'm going to make this super easy for myself and just add some gravy powder. And then we'll whisk it all up until we get a gravy-like consistency. And just tasty gravy. Oh my God, that is so good. There is so much flavour in that. And I've got a bit of the shank meat. That is so, so good. That is the perfect winter recipe. Make sure you take your lamb shanks so they're pulling apart with ease and you'll have yourself an amazing meal. That gravy, so much flavour in it. We're going to serve this on some mashed potato with some peas. Like I said, make it your own, serve it with what you want. An absolute perfect winter meal. So I'm going to go serve this up. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.